Good morning. Actually see the difference in the size of the stomachs now.
So two brothers. Go them here, close to the water. Move down there because of the empty so very close.
Dara, who's in Ohio. Hello, Dara. Dara wants to know if the squirrel is going to be calling until they leave. Could be. Might get bored, might get hoarse. And also might even call long after they leave. It might be so upset with their presence that it'll call when it can't even see them anymore.
The other side, we can see them. They're still looking at the danger.
Now, living with these squirrels in my roof, I wake up to this almost every morning at home, and I invariably either race to a window or run out the door to see what there might be. Problem is that a squirrel will do this for an African wildcat even. I've even got a slender mongoose that climbs up the knobthorn outside my house to go and check the squirrel nests and the bird nests. And the squirrels go mad like this just for a slender mongoose. So sometimes, in fact most of the time, we hear squirrels alarming. We don't always get to see what it is that they're alarming at. I can't see. Can you see where it is, the squirrel?
Oh, it's moved now.
Yeah, behind this baby Timbuti. I think he's getting not only uncomfortable, but he's probably getting irritated by the squirrel. He just wants peace and quiet. Wants to take a cat nap without the noise. So eventually the squirrel stops looking at the predator and alarming at the predator and starts looking elsewhere to see if it can attract the attention of other squirrels or other allies. Gonna move position a little bit. And there was a Colombian clove that headed south.
Oh, they had that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go around it. Maybe we get a better view, but he's laying down. Bit of an angle for the camera, sorry. Is it? Can you level it alright?
Yeah, that's not bad.
I just thought if the other one sat up, we'd get a nice look at his face, maybe the bigger boy. When we were here in 2011, having the Matimbas and the lion called Induna, the bigger male of the group. And if I'm not, that big male had a little bit of his tail missing, much like Induna the leopard did. Funny how a little while ago I wasn't really remembering them at all, but things are starting to come back to me a little. Try to straighten that a little, see if it makes a difference.
That's dendros.
Is it? Nikki, if you can copy me, not copying anything at all. Uh-huh. Put a little corner to it. Thanks. Not sure what I did with my lens clip. Tambuti tree starting to fade, leaves are yellowing.
Yeah, this brother sometimes separate. Like days ago they wasn't together. So yeah, they communicate.
Quite incessant. Andrew's not here. We're not going to block him if I just move a little bit more and more level. We'll sit here a little while longer. Be interesting if it is one of those days when things can change suddenly, because there can be something coming to the water, perhaps. Something wandering here. Possibly buffalo coming in. Pretty heavy cloud rolling in towards the south, but it's coming from the east. And our eastern sky is fairly light. Aha. The lion's nemesis. Of course, the alarm calls of the squirrel will be noted by other animals in the area. That might not stop them from coming to the water. They might not know where the squirrel is seeing something. And also, just listening to it, you can hear it changing in intensity sometimes. Yes, much better now, thanks. Still only about 3 out of 5, but I got you. Please repeat. Interesting news from Nikki about a bit of a conversation going on Twitter, #SafariLive, about the squirrel, because it has been going non-stop, wondering if he's ever going to lose his voice. Well, not really. Look at that. Now, looking at his canines, if we can get a good look, they are not very on his left canine. It's still got pretty sharp canine. You know, after 10 years or so, lions tend to start, their canines tend to start getting a little bit blunt. And his incisors were still looking fairly good, so he's not any older years. I mean, let's put it this way: it's not declining rapidly like an old lion would. So, difficult answer to a question from Mary, because it's not there isn't a one-off answer to it. Mary wants to know what is the sort of time span of dominance for a coalition of males. Generally, it's anywhere from maybe 3 to 5 years, maximum 5, but it's normally only about 3 or 4 years. But a lot of it is dependent on the density of the lion population. You see, every area in Africa, in fact even every area here in the relatively small reserve of the Sabi Sand. And Sabi Sand, we're talking about maybe about 130 to 150,000 acres of the Sabi Sand. Although it's open to Kruger, it's all part of Kruger. It is still diverse enough that what happens with lion in this part of the Sabi Sand, it could be different further south. There are different densities. And then you look at the whole of Kruger, which are millions and millions of acres of Kruger, and all the lion that live in Kruger. You'll have a different dynamic throughout Kruger, and then you look at an area like the Kalahari where lion is so much more spread out. They have much bigger territories. There are different survival criteria. And then in the Okavango Delta, where it's the opposite of the Kalahari Desert, it's a water wonderland. There are different dynamics there. So to give you a simple answer, it wouldn't hold for other lion in any other area. And so it's more a case of observing individuals and maybe over time creating some sort of database of how long different coalitions have ruled a territory, and being able to then get a mean, get an average. And I think you'd probably find it's probably about 3 or 4 years. I like the way he does a little bit of an Elvis thing with his upper lip. Okay, I think maybe I should move for you, Wiem, because we've got a bit of grasses in his face. While we've got a chance to be able to view them like this, try and get a really nice, now that his brother has moved, I'm going to swing you around to the other side maybe, see if we can't get a really nice clear view of his face, unobstructed. Oops. Okay, Squirrel, I got this. Yeah, I got this. You can take a break now. That's much better. So they've just picked up the female pride from these two boys, the Nkuhumas, a little bit north of us. Lex, where's 3 in a row in relation to Buffelshoek Dam? Alright, thanks. Yeah, 3 in a row pan, very far away, so if they were to be calling, possible that the Nkuhumas could hear them, but not that close that they're going to reunite at any time today, maybe tonight. And yeah, the squirrel's tiring a little bit. Morning, Lev. Lev in Brooklyn. Nice to hear from Lev in Brooklyn. Will these 2 males stay together for the rest of their lives? It's possible, Lev. It's not a certainty. But it's likely. Morning, Lev. Lev in Brooklyn. He'll be able to hold his own against anything, so he will then become probably just an old nomadic male that has to avoid other males in his waning years. Or if they get ousted as a pair, they could spend the rest of their days, the last few years, wandering around as old boys. Very difficult to predict what would happen when it comes to nature. Very difficult to know what will happen. And one of the reasons why we just love watching things, because we get answers all the time. And what you find with maybe one set of circumstances, you might never find that happening again. So you can never say that when you are observing something that it goes for all other animals, or all other animals of the same species, that all others will do the same thing. Go ahead. How long do I think these boys have before being kicked out by another coalition? Well, there, you see, that's a perfect question for that answer, Tom. Tom's in the Falklands. Nice to hear from the Falkland Islands. Nice to know that we have a connection, albeit through technology, to a group of islands down south. They could be ousted tomorrow, Tom. There could be a coalition that moves in here, 3, 4, 5 or 6 younger males, stronger males maybe, that might come in and oust them tomorrow. Or it could be another 2 years before they are ousted, before that could happen. We have seen them mating with the Nkuhumas over the last couple of months, and we're hoping that that is going to result in some fruition. It's going to produce some cubs, and it would be good if they could hold their territory for at least another 2 years. If they are siring more cubs now with these Nkuhumas, they would need to hold this territory for at least another 3 years, 2 to 3 years, to be able to make sure that those cubs, their progeny, survive. Any other males coming in would kill new cubs, or cubs belonging to other males, so that they can sire their own. It's one way of ensuring the dominance in the gene pool that's constantly breeding with the females and bringing new genes into the pride. But it's another reason to be spending every day out here trying to find them, trying to keep up with their lives. Is one of the most wonderful things we have about being able to bring you to this part of the Greater Kruger National Park, to Djuma Game Reserve every day, as opposed to when you're visiting a place like Africa. You come and visit and you get to see these animals on safari, but then when you leave a place, you never know what happens to the lives of those animals. And if you come on safari here at Djuma or neighbouring lodges like Arathusa, you're able to see the animals that we can show you every day, but when you go home, you're actually able to follow their lives through us, hopefully for as long as we can. I know that we're not going to be here forever, but we do get to see a longer glimpse of their lives over a greater period of time than one would normally see if you were just visiting Africa for a shorter safari. So I suppose one of the benefits of being able to read tracks, what we do as presenters, the three of us, and you'll be meeting someone new very soon, and who's going to be joining us tonight at Fireside Chat. Keep you guessing for a little while, but part of what we love doing is reading the news in the road every morning to see which cats or which hyena, who's been moving around, where the elephants have gone, which direction the buffaloes have been, which leopards are moving around. When we drive around on our boundary roads, we can see which animals have come into Djuma overnight and which animals might have left Djuma overnight. And in times that we are lucky enough to witness, when they are on our traversing area, that's why we hope you become regular viewers. We hope you get as hooked on these cats and other animals as many other people have and have watched us over the years. You can see it. He's getting a little bit... It's like it's winding down. It's a wind-up toy that's reaching the end of its coil. Until the cat moves, I bet you if one of them got up and moved, it'll be like the squirrel suddenly got wound up again. Oh, question from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Liz wants to know if these two males are part of that pride of 13 we saw the other day, 2 days ago. I just heard some parrots fly. You can hear the squeak of the parrots. And they've flown over. No, Liz, these two boys don't go down that way because there are males there. They're a little bit, that is southwest of us where that pride is. That's the Talala breakaway pride, and those lion have other boys that look after them, or that are the fathers of those 9 youngsters. The west, when the Birminghams are not around, the Majingi lions come in from the west. There were some Majingi lions on Arathusa the day before yesterday, but they were just not on the area where that we traversed. They were on an area where we don't have access to, and they didn't come quite as far east as we were with the lions on the water at Arathusa. So these boys wouldn't go that far. There would be quite a commotion. Plus they've got a hard enough time looking after their own pride up here and on Buffelshoek. There's the Nkumas. I think there's probably others that don't ever come here. Just trying to think. There's that other group called the... Come help me out, someone, viewer. Questions at Safari. Questions at WildEarthTV. Hashtag Safari Live. No, the Birmingham's, no, not to Birmingham. I'm thinking of another pride of females from up north that don't really ever come on to Djuma from Buffelshoek. I know they're the Salatis. The Birmingham have sisters in Manyaleti. The Salatis are in Manyaleti. Why, Len or Glenn in Florida, why do lions form prides? A leopard, Jen, sorry, not Glenn, Jennifer. Why do lions form prides but cheetah and leopard don't? I think primarily because of the fact that lion became more plains hunters, and it was far more beneficial to join forces out on the plains to hunt larger prey than it was to be solitary hunting smaller prey, because hunting strategies out on the more open plains required a different hunting strategy to what, say, a leopard needs. Now, cheetah, on the other hand, do sort of form loose coalitions and loose groups. Not really. You'll find cheetah with their cubs, and you'll find boys that stay together and sub-adults that'll stay together and they'll hunt together. But ultimately, as adults, they tend to move on along on their own. But they've sacrificed strength. They've sacrificed all that muscle for the speed with which they hunt, with that lion's body and the very long legs, that it doesn't really do them any good to hunt large prey. They need to hunt things that they can bring down quickly, eat quickly, and move on. And somehow the way lions have worked over time is that it became more beneficial. It became as a survival thing. I think if we look at the adaptation of lion to their habitat. We can see when lion are born how they have spots and rosettes very similar to leopards. So I think at one time there must have been a type of habitat that wasn't conducive to open grassland and things, and that maybe over time that developed, and then the animals had to move into that niche and create a different type of society or a different behavior for themselves. Not create, but adapt to a different way of living, a way of hunting, a way of feeding. And by not living in the thicket and the bush that they used to, they no longer needed the spots and rosettes, so it kind of faded over time to become this more uniform tan, tawny, beige lion color for out in the grassland. And being large cats, being able to hunt cooperatively, giving them the opportunity to bring down larger animals, which increases the amount of intake of meat per individual, which improves the chances of survival. So it was probably a combination of survival tactics and changes in habitat that required changes in behavior and social structure. Okay, here it is. Starting to get some pretty low and heavy cloud moving in from the south. The squirrel decided to just chirp up again because a fork-tailed drongo arrived in another tree, and the fork-tailed drongo is also making a little bit of a noise. So the squirrel's just reaffirming its vehemence, reaffirming its displeasure, and having cats in its territory. He's going to start snoring soon. Heavy breathing helps. Well, I suppose it's a combination of having a very full tummy pushing on his diaphragm, and I suppose helps with the discomfort of having such a bloated stomach. I mean, he's really overindulged, this boy, like a king. I don't feel so bad now when I look at his tummy, but I know he's going to have a thinner tummy in a day than I am. Ooh, give us a roll. Shanae from Pretoria. How long does a full belly like this take to digest? Well, if he's not going to eat again for a couple of days, then it'll be, I'd say, 2 to 3 days. You will notice, within 2 to 3 days, we'll notice a marked difference. But he'll be able to, if he had to, if they weren't hunting, he'd be able to survive on this full belly for up to a week or more, as long as he has water. a drongo. Go ahead, Lex. Sorry, I was on the other radio. Negative. I'm still at Buffelshoek Dam. Doug, I think it was, asking if I ever known, or has it ever been documented, of lion being ousted from a pride and then being able to take over another pride and then being able to assert dominance elsewhere. I have to be honest, I haven't ever heard of that. Mostly because of the age. I don't know, maybe if I had to think about it, Doug, offhand I can't think of it. I'd like to look into records to see if maybe it has been documented. But you see, there's a very short period in time during an adult male lion's life that he can hold a territory. So I suppose if a lion is ousted young enough, before he's managed to even sire any cubs, there's still a little bit of time left on his clock for him to be able to do so, if he's strong enough and able to dominate over another pride male. So I think largely it'll depend on how old he is when he gets ousted. I think sort of later on in life, like these boys, if they get ousted now, I don't know what their chances would be being maybe 8-10 years old. There's still maybe a few years left in them, so there's a very good chance that maybe they could. I suppose if we had to look at it from the point of view of here, if we have to think of the lions that we've had here in the Sabi Sand, when I got here, the Mapochos were here, they were pretty dominant up here, so I suppose it has been documented. Mapochos were here, they were ousted by the Machingi lions. The Machingi lions took over here, and they sired cubs here, but then they were ousted and pushed off further south and west. So I suppose the constant turnover here is different to anywhere else that I've ever known in terms of coalitions and frequency of coalitions. So I think under those circumstances, yes. Back home, I don't think I've ever heard of it happening back home in the Timbavati, and the lion that I've studied up in East Africa haven't ever done that, because the dynamics are so different. So I think where a population allows it, it is possible. If we think of what's been going on here at Djuma and the male coalitions that have been dominant here at Djuma and have subsequently been pushed off and have had to resettle elsewhere in the Sabi Sand, and they've done so because they were ousted or they were moved on at a young enough age for them to be able to still sire cubs and maintain that dominance while those cubs are growing and getting to an age where they're no longer under threat from other males coming in. It's getting very grey now. I'm thinking that we ought to carry on driving for the last little bit of our drive. I'm hoping that these boys are going to stay here for this afternoon's drive. There's a good chance that they will. If there are elephant or buffalo that are going to come down this little alley to the water, they will move off, no doubt. They're not likely to move very far, especially this one with a big full belly. Probably stick around the water for a while, and I'm hoping that they will still be here this afternoon. I'm not foreseeing any change in activity in the next 20 or so, 30 minutes. So I'd like to, let's go and see what else we can find. We'll take a little bit more of a drive for the time that we have left. Go to bed, squirrel. Good night, boys. Thank you for your company. Bye-bye, little squirrel. Good luck with your endeavors to attract the attention of other allies to come and fight the lion. Bye-bye, boys. It's okay, you don't have to get up. Not on our account. No need to even lift your head. I quite understand. When you have that kind of a status in the world. To the southeast of us. Maybe he'll come our way one day, but we can't get there. But nice to know that Mbula is fairly close to us again. The station's leaving too, Madorangala, Buffels of Dan, Lalapanzi, open lock. Skies with lower patches of cloud, you know what I mean, and a drizzle later for some parts. Boy, either. Guess who you are? Gosh. Guess who this is, everybody? Go ahead, Josh. They're on the sort of where the water comes into the dam on the western side, just off of the water, up that drainage line on the sand. Yeah, I also got an ingwe here at Buffelshoek Dam on the southern side. Quite a surprise. I'm so glad we decided to leave the other sleeping. Just bumped it right this very second. Go ahead, Lex. Yeah, affirmative. The southeastern side of the dam. Raisa said quarantine. Sorry, little boy. He was just behind. Did you see him as I saw him, or?
Like literally when you see him, I saw him.
Yeah, because you normally see him before me. It's funny. I was looking for elephant tracks, and the elephant came this way after they left the dam when we were with the lion, and I was hoping that maybe we'd follow up on the leopard tracks. I mean, elephant tracks. There's an elephant pathway just off to my right, and I was looking to see for signs of them so we could go and say hello. And quite miraculously, here's this little cat. Not the first time he's tailing these two big boys. We've seen him. They killed a buffalo some time ago, a couple of months ago. They killed a buffalo near Philemon's Dip and Osthoff Weaver's Nest. And while they were filming, he was prancing around on the other side of the drainage line watching them. And he even snuck down and took a bite of buffalo when the lions had left. It's tail the big cats and pick up some of their pieces as they move along. So Raisa said quarantine. Any other guesses from any other viewers? We could. We're going to have to give him a little bit, well, move back a little bit because other vehicles are going to come in here soon. So I'm thinking maybe we just wait. Twitter is a tweet with quarantine, the male quarantine male. Karula's son. Those of you who are watching for the first time, if there are any of our first time viewers, this is one of the local leopards. He's a young male leopard. He's about 2.5, going on 2.5 soon, as he was born around about November, in late November, December of 2012. His mother is known as Karula. She's the queen of Djuma. She's the most wonderful leopard. I haven't seen her for a little bit, but she has been around recently. Now, he's got a brother who's called Djuma. He must have dodged the ellies. Choosing the right road. I nearly went up the other road, up to Cheetah Cut Line, to see if we could find leopard tracks, and at the last minute decided to follow elephant tracks. I'm just trying to show you how fantastic it is sometimes to just do something spontaneously, and rather than have a plan of, well, I'm going to do this road and that road and then I'll go there, and sometimes just a random choice of a junction can pay off, and there can be a cat. In fact, we probably drove past him earlier. Maybe they might be able to look for tracks to see whether he was walking on top of our tracks, our tire tracks. But it could well have been in the area and had moved because the elephants have moved in that direction, this direction, and then he was forced to lie elsewhere or move elsewhere. I'm going to move to the side because there's going to need, I guess, you can hear vehicles coming. I want to just make sure that we can give some space to another vehicle. And of course it means we at an angle. Sorry, VM. You want to come in here? Morning. You got space? Morning. And you got the new one.
Quite a productive morning as well.
Wow.
You must have used a lot of petrol for all the view you used, haven't you?
Yes, but it's been worth it.
Right there. Just the same way that we saw.
He looks a bit smaller.
Copied. I'll give it a pause before I get there.
Lee, who's this guy?
What's that?
Who's this guy?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't?
Yet.
Because he's got an interesting marking around his neck.
One, yeah, they all have that necklace.
Do they?
Yeah. This is called necklace.
Oh,
This could be one of the young males.
Oh, we think it's the quarantine male.
Is it? Is it the same one?
He's
the one
got-
that we saw briefly the other day.
He's got a mark above his left eye that we all... you find this particular spot on the leopard or marking that you always look for. One particular one above his left eye looks like the British pound symbol.
Oh, cool. The cats are very quiet today. Check your... It looks like it's got a tusker in there. Oh, jeepers,
Have those kumas eaten anything?
No.
I wonder where they were eating.
With the Pumas? Oh, with
No, these boys.
No, but you know, when we heard the roaring this morning, it was 2 lions roaring
Yeah?
from the south, and we went down, we picked up the tracks 2 at Twin Dams, but the track that I followed up here was only 1.
Looked like just in the bottom there they joined up.
Okay.
So maybe the other one came up with cheetah cutline or something.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Josh. Confirm for the Ingwe. Yeah, either side, it doesn't really matter because we're on the road side that heads south towards Guaripan. I'm going to move to make space for another vehicle. We'll see if we can't see him from the front down this pathway, Hippo Path. Too close.
I'll go forward if you want.
Versing would be interesting.
Maybe I'll do it then. Pardon?
No, you've got some more wounds there.
Yeah, no, Ellie didn't like the vehicle. She got a bit angry. Not me, she was angry with the car. Tight squeeze. There's yours going the other side. Yours coming? Yeah, you come past us. Go after them. Yeah, no, I know this one that goes up this way to Nyala North is for the Turkistan. There's also a hippo track on your left, you might see him down there. Come forward a bit. Go ahead. They're on the other side of the dam on that arm that heads north from that western arm. Hi yours, how are you? Nice to see you too. I don't know if you can squeeze in there. Yeah, he's there just next to Lex. Quarantine mail. Go ahead, Anthony, and nice to hear from you. Yeah, I'm going to pull out of this party. You can come in. Either you can come down Buffalo's a cut line and then turn into the dam, come across the dam wall might be best. Or even that eastern arm that comes down to the dam from Buffalo's a cut line, either one's about the same. Well, our crocodilian has exited the water. And Nguenia's out of the water as well. I think it's still the same croc. I need to take a photograph of it and then I'll be able to do a pattern comparison. Much like we do with leopards, I can do the same thing with a crocodile with those markings. Believe it or not, the markings on a crocodile to a large extent are dictated by the temperature at which the eggs are incubated. It also determines the sex of the individuals. And so, in a nest of crocodile eggs, there's going to be varying temperature throughout the nest that makes sure that there are more or less a mixture of males and females. Well, we're seeing 3 of the top predators this morning. That's quite amazing. 3 of the top predators and the biggest mammals in Africa, in fact the biggest mammals on the planet, on land, to emphasize. Very lucky. This is the apex predator of fresh water in Africa, the Nile crocodile. And the cat of the reptile world, doing a lot of sleeping. Energy conservation, or energy conscious creatures. For the crocodile it's another thing entirely. For the crocodile it is also a means to absorb energy, to gain warmth from the ambient air and the sun if it were to come out.
You can still hear that squirrel going.
Yeah, the squirrel's still shouting in the background. Maybe it's actually sounding quite frantic. Maybe the cats have gotten up and are moving. Okay, let's let sleeping crocodiles be. And let's continue our journey this morning. Maybe we can find one of the smallest carnivores. Come on, crocodile. Be good. Don't terrorize the animals too much. good crocodile. Leaving lock at this Ingwe, and 2 vehicles on lock, Anthony moving in. Pity. I know it's a very short stop with the Leopard, but it is put too much pressure on the animals, so we do limit the number of vehicles that are allowed at an animal, and where he is, it's very difficult to put too many vehicles in that sighting as it is. We only allow 3 vehicles, and in order for everybody to get a view, especially this sort of late in the morning, when the only things that have been found around here have been lion. They've been lion up on Buffelshoek, and of course we had these 2 male lion was seen down south in another lodge southeast of us, where a lot of these vehicles don't have access to that area. And so in order for maybe some of the people to get their guests to see this leopard, we need to allow the vehicles to cycle through there fairly soon. I'm hoping he'll be around here. That leopard tracks here, so he must have come from here. I think that's Jack's Road. Oh. The leopard tracks that I'm seeing here are probably quarantine male, and I've got news. I'm just trying to think. They never really used to call it Jack's Road, but I think this road is Jack's Road that comes in from Buffelshoek cut line. Evidently another leopard, maybe, if we're lucky. That will be quite an unusual thing. Then we can't really go very far. Our entire morning will be the drama that's taking place here around Buffelshoek Dam. Hang on, Nikki, please. Stand by, please. None of us really know Jack's Road, but I think this is it. Yeah, I'm on that road, Anthony. If I can maybe make my way towards you, I just happen to be here too. Oops, back up in. Evidently this cat that was heading down there is right here, somewhere very close by. I see Anthony moving his vehicle into this bush. This leopard has evidently just made a play for a duiker. There's a termite mound. There it is. You can see its ears. It's also running again. There's an old path to a buffalo kill up here where we once had a buffalo kill many years ago. It might have even been Matimbas. I can't remember that. That leopard was very highly mobile, to call it, when they're running towards this sort of area. There it is. It's walking now just ahead of us. Jumping on the tree. Okay, Anthony, I got a visual. No, there's an old track coming in off of the road. She's now on a tree stump watching whatever she was hunting. And come a little bit further, you'll see there's a little track from a previous sighting. Second leopard of the day. We'll be able to see what she might be looking at. He. Let's see if anyone can identify her. She's watching something. Probably still watching a duiker that it was hunting. He, she, it. I need a feather. Not taking its eyes off of the ball. Watching for any movement. You know, a duiker is called a duiker because directly translated means a diver. And as they run, oh, I missed that moment of a shot as she looked at us. It seems the flies are bugging her as much as they are me. Do you want to pull into the left on the other side of this bush for me? Yeah, I think so. She's just off again. I haven't seen her face yet. Termite man, she's still stalking whatever it was that she was after. I just missed that moment when she glanced at us. And I also thought Karula for a minute. We'll be able to see now, maybe she's moving forward. Yours is saying maybe Kanyeni. But for now, since she's doing what she's doing, we've just got to give her space. She's watching for something. Whether she's still got an eye on it or not, I'm not sure. But she seemed to have caught a glimpse of it again. If it's already ran from her, then it's going to be on high alert. Now I was saying that the direct translation of a duiker is a diver, because they have this habit of running and then suddenly diving into cover. And for a lot of prey, whether it's being hunted by a bird or a reptile or a mammal, even a fish for that matter, if you don't move, you don't get seen. It's a beautiful cat. I mean, look at that stance. That is classic leopard alert. Also a cat that knows to keep its tail down and keep it from twitching too much, because it can so often be a giveaway. And we notice that with younger cats, when they're stalking, they can't control that little brain that exists at the end of the tail that has a mind of its own. Yours coming? Yeah, affirmative. Over onto the other side and then go down to the water and look up the drainage line. She's watching something, so at the moment she's static, or she's actually starting to move again. So she's got an eye on something. Okay, copy. I'm trying to remember. I remember clearly Tara and I were on the vehicle together. Either I was on camera or she was on camera. We were alternating. There was a buffalo kill almost exactly here, and I know it was big males, and I can't remember whether it was Matingolines or whether it was Matimbas. But I think there must have been other sightings here in the interim, because there is a track that comes up here from the sighting. Where is she now? Right here. Marking a territory on the edge of a marula tree. Karula. Any confirmation from anybody, but I got a quick glimpse of her when she looked our way. So I'm thinking this is her. What do you think, Jim?
I was unsure, but now it also looks a bit like a ruler.
See if I can get a really tight zoom shot if she looks this way again. If I could just keep myself still with the flowers on my face. I can't. The only thing I know of that Anthony said that she had taken after a duiker, and my guess is that there's still a duiker here somewhere, and she's trying to pick up on it again. So she's looking for any movement or any sound up ahead. I'm not seeing anything that indicates impala up ahead, but just with her intensity, is the way she's looking. Oh, now she's giving up by the looks of things, maybe. So what she's likely to do is she's like to walk a little bit more. classic hunting time for Karula. She loves hunting this time of the day. The least likelihood that there's going to be anything else around. What she doesn't know is that there are 2 big male lions lying at the dam. If she kills something and it makes a death call, especially if it's a duiker, now common duiker screams like a baby when it is caught, as do a lot of animals, and it will be within earshot of those males, and so they could come running. Her best bet would then be to tree her kill, to be up in the tree as soon as she can.
Boy, look quite hungry.
Yeah. Yes, part of the kill that we saw many years ago was around here, right here. I remember these little mud wallows. There's the buffalo skull. I think that's the buff skull. What's left of it? Yeah. That's the remains of a buffalo from about 4 years ago. Maybe 5 years ago. Look at that beautiful stars. Can't get tired of nature's beauty. Flies, please give me a break. Okay, madam, give me that queen look. Didn't even look my way. Starting to get a little bit thick. We do only have 2 minutes of broadcast left, but I think we're just going to stay here maybe just 1 or 2 minutes longer, just to see. Go ahead, Josh. When you come east from the Torchwood at the dam, that road that heads up towards Buffels of Cutline, that eastern arm, they call Jack's Road. And she's behind us now. Yeah, she's just behind me. Yours is an old track that we can follow. We're quite far in, but it's not too thick. The affirmative. To the eastern side, there's a small track that heads off to the east. Hope she goes onto that termite mound.
Bit of a look now, I think it is Karula.
Do we go again? Looks like Karula. Just try and get a really nice view of her, and it might just happen now. Oops, mind the holes, Mark. Making her way down towards the dam now. I keep coming, yours, I can see you. You know, making her way straight towards him. See if I can get through here on the back of it. Yours. Get a bit of view. And then we're going to have to say goodbye, I'm afraid. Might be making her way down towards the water actually. She's heading back more or less in a southerly, southwesterly direction. So it could be that she's heading back towards the dam. I think if we find our way out of here, welcome, Josh. There are 2 other vehicles here. What's interesting is that she is making her way towards the dam. Now she's alert because she's kind of hoping that something's going to present itself to hunt. But I'm curious as to whether she knows that her son is at the dam. And a reunion would be something to see. It's with this cool weather, the cats are not taking to the shade as they would normally do on a very hot day. That might be it in the distance, 100 meters straight ahead, the direction that she's moving. When she's moving, of course. Right now, see if I can change up a little bit. It's also our only way out of here is to follow her, because this is the track, this little track that we are on. Ruler's turned around, she's actually making her way back towards the dam. Sniffing around, actually can smell something in here. now and then she moves away as though she's picking up on the scent of something. She's now coming onto an elephant path, and hopefully we'll be able to follow it as well. And it's not too far, we're getting a lot closer to the dam now. Hopefully near the road. Quite a dense patch before we can get close to the road. She's listening to some francolins, I think. She's pausing because there's some francolins that are starting to alarm. Gosh. The buffalo thorn ahead of us. You might just lose her now because it can't take the direction she's in. But it's likely to be coming out on the road pretty soon. Oh. Mind the bush willow, Mark. Oh, gosh. It's the roads. So almost on the roads. She's going to be coming. Trust me. Oh. Tree stump. Okay, she's now crossed. She's heading south, so I don't think she's going to come to the land because she's crossed this road that goes up to Leopard. I'm going to have to leave Karula. She's heading into some really thick latin here. Let's wait until she... Can't follow in there, that's for sure. Completely no space. Go ahead. No, but she's coming parallel to this road. She's coming down towards quarantine. Still behind me a bit. Yeah,
Good morning.
Alright. So hopefully she's going to come down and see him, I hope.
So he's lying just up off Darla North.
Okay, is he...
George is with us now.
I'd like to see if she joins up. Ciao. She can't be more than 50 yards really, she's close. Go again. Nikki, come in. Go again. What time is he coming? I don't know what time he's coming. Okay, I'm not copying. What time and go again? So she's not far from here, but I don't know if they're going to find each other. She's not far. I'm hoping she's going to pop out of the woodwork any minute. It is a wonderful thing, because I don't know when they were last together. And the reunion would be quite interesting to see. They're so close. Without vocalizing, and he's looking at something else. She might even be just going to the water. We might miss her. I know we are running out of time.
Mark, I wanted to leave at 9 o'clock that time. But with everything going on,
How can you?
how can you go back?
Yeah.
Enjoy, guys. Thanks a lot.
Nice to see you again. Safe journey. Nikki's mentioning that there's some chitter on Twitter and some emails questioning whether she's pregnant or not. I haven't even been looking at that. I've been concentrating on other things about the situation this morning, watching her ears, her tail. I'll have a look at a couple of the photographs that I took. I'm sure we'll get some footage to look at later, some of the archive footage, and I'll get a better idea. I'm not saying yes or no. I didn't really have a look. Got some go-away birds that are now further to the east of us that are starting to just make a little bit of noise. And I'm thinking that maybe what we'll do is we'll just... Franklin's shouting down behind us now. By now she should have come out. But there she is, she's coming. There she is. She's watching this way. I can just see her. There she is. And she's watching. She can see the back of him, I think. Come here, girl. Come see your son. You probably can't see her. She's just going to take another few steps forward. She's right through that gap there. She's sitting down now. I don't think from the camera angle you're going to be able to see her. But just to the, yeah, in fact, directly behind it. If I could go, maybe I can go forward an inch. You can just see the bottom of her there. And the tail twitching. What I've been waiting for. And it's remarkable. There hasn't been any vocalizing. And this is possibly an incredible moment where maybe just the sense of connection, the sense of unity in blood. It's like my mother knows when I'm going to phone, or when I'm going to arrive. When I used to come back from East Africa, it would be random, but my mother would know that I was coming without me even telling her. And I'm sure twins, there are many documented cases of twins or parents being that close to children or vice versa, where there's this almost intuitive knowledge. I'm hoping that she can see this little twitching tail. We got a pair of cats 20 yards apart, and we're hoping that they're going to see each other. I think she can sort of see him because of the way she's looking. I can now see Karula from quarantine sighting. It's about, I think it's probably about to happen. She's sitting looking in this direction, but he's facing the other way.
He's gonna go.
He's been watching Franklin. And I don't think he knows that his mother was watching him all along. Now that he's turning back, she's now looking, she's got that really inquisitive look about her that I think she's likely to recognize him by now. I wish I could have 2 cameras on this. Of course the Franklin's, he's looking a bit skinny. You hungry, boy? Oh, smelling something there. Could be cat, could be lion. Something made him, he smelled something on the end of this branch and it's made him turn around here and go the other way. She as yet hasn't moved, she's watching everything with interest. He's now heading down the elephant path. Come Karula, please, just come on. You must be able to see it's your boy. And all we can see with the camera, the spots, we can't really see that beautiful expression on her face, but I can try and move forward to see. What is also so amazing about this is being able to see the 2 of them and to see how maybe they work it, that maybe she doesn't want a meeting. Yeah, I mean eventually they might get together, but at the moment they can look. I was expecting a little bit of a greeting. I was expecting to have a bit of a reunion. It might be because I know she saw him and she saw him go for the Franklin. Maybe she's just trying to make sure that they don't cross paths. Yeah, affirmative. Almost at the spot where I said goodbye to you when you were on the road. Well, you know, we could be here all day with this, but I think now that he might have headed into this Tambuti, which is very thick Tambuti. This is what Franklins do when they fly up from a leopard. Yeah, I've lost him. He's gone off into this Tambuti thicket. And at this point, I guess we better say goodbye so that I can extract ourselves from this situation or from this bush and get back up onto the road and we can get back to camp. We have some things to do back home this morning. I can't tell you how much of a pleasure it's been being a part of this morning with you all, because it's so unusual to have so much activity here at Diffelshoek Dam. I only hope that we're going to be able to match it this afternoon. So do join us again this afternoon, 4 o'clock. Sorry, no, 3 o'clock Central African time. We're starting an hour earlier because of the time, because of the seasons changing, not because we have any daylight savings time in this part of the world. My name is Mark. Vim has been on camera, and Nikki's been back in final control. And from all of us at Wild Earth, goodbye, love you lots, and see you later. Bye bye, Franklin. Mind the cats.